Hey, aloha! Tom Gaddis here. Welcome to another awesome Walkthrough Wednesday special training. Today, I'm going to be covering how to turn free into paying clients. I'm also going to go through a technical side of HighLevel and show you how you can move your contacts from one sub account to another sub account. So, for instance, if you're following our directory strategy, you'll have people in a directory sub account, but when they become a client, you want to move them into your agency sub account. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the HighLevel side. I'm also going to talk a little bit more in depth about the connection between our directory and our agency and how we establish that with the prospects that we talk to, so nothing sounds weird or awkward. I'm going to cover all that, plus lots of training on, again, how to take someone from free into a paying client, that entire process. Plus, I'm going to take your questions. We have an amazing handout for you that's going to go with this training as well. So all that coming your way in the next roughly 47 minutes. It's going to be a great time. So let me take a look at the chat. Yes, we are recording this. We publish these to our YouTube channel when they are done. You can just go to offlinesharks.com/YouTube. There's actually a Walkthrough Wednesday playlist. You can go there and check that. What's up, Brian Wade? John, welcome. Roberto, Charles. I like beam me up, Cam. I like Shushan said that. She said, beam me up, Cam. Somebody
You've
said,
been beamed
glad you're
up.
back, Tom. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I'm excited to be back. I got back Friday from setting my oldest daughter up in college in Pennsylvania. I'm actually back on a plane tomorrow, heading to Dallas, where I will be at the HighLevel event. Well, first, my mom is turning 75 on Saturday. So her, my sister, my brother, the three of us have not, or the four of us have not all been together in a long time. So for her 75th birthday, my mom wanted us to all be together. So since I'm in Dallas and they're in Oklahoma, they're all driving down and we're going to hang out Friday, Saturday. I'm going to spend some time with them. And then Miranda and I are going to the OU Texas game at 2:30. I'm excited for that. We're hanging out with the family after. And then Monday starts the HighLevel event. So I'll be at the HighLevel event, gathering a lot of great info, sharing that with you guys in the upcoming weeks as well. I will be on the live coaching call day after tomorrow. I'm going to be doing it from Dallas. So that should be fun. And yeah, so we got lots of great stuff in here. So excited to be back, ready to go. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. We got a lot of training to dive into. So I am going to share my screen. Actually, here, let me do this first. And we are going to get this partay started. So again, today we're going to be talking about how to turn free listings into paying clients. What you're seeing on the screen right now is actually the awesome PDF guide that Cameron and the team put together to go along with today's training. So Cameron will drop a link in the chat so you can download that. If you're watching this video on YouTube, what I would appreciate you would do to grab this PDF is subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on the notifications, and drop a comment below this video. And me or someone from my team will get you a link to download this PDF as well. If you're on here live right now, Cameron will drop this link in the chat here in a little bit. So with that, we are going to get this party started. So let me go on here. All right. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the directory strategy that we follow as a whole. Now, again, I'm not really like if you're using SmartDirectoryAI, awesome. If you're using some other type of directory platform, that's awesome too. I really do feel that in the coming year to 2 years, the directory edge, as I like to call it, is really going to give you a leg up on the fierce competition that is going to be in the AI marketplace. Because I want you guys to think about this for a minute. You know, I know we're all here because we're excited about AI. We're like, look at all the amazing stuff it can do. AI can write the copy, it can write the ads, it can write the posts, it can make the images. I think Nick just shared in a video the other day that very soon, Chat GPT, you will be able to just run paid ads from directly inside Chat GPT. It'll put together the strategy, write the ads, do the like everything right from in Chat GPT. Now, as a marketer, that sounds, I'm sure maybe to you, you're thinking, wow, that sounds like nirvana. Like we'll just be able to do everything. To me, that doesn't sound like heaven. That kind of sounds like hell because what is really happening that most people don't realize is one of the biggest barriers in the marketplace is being removed. And that is actually having to do the work. So a few years ago, right, if you could do Facebook ads, SEO, if you could figure out how to run paid ads, you would get paid because no one else could do it. It was a challenge. You had to put in the time and the effort to do that. That is being removed. It is no longer going to be a question of can you do the services because pretty much everyone is going to be able to do the services. So the real challenge you're going to face moving forward is getting attention. And that's really what the directory edge, the directory method is all about. The directory isn't just a community resource, right? It's a strategic initiative built by your marketing agency to give small businesses exposure while opening the door to deeper conversations about their marketing needs. Now, we are always upfront about the connection between our directory and our agency. And I'm going to go through some of how we word that and say that. Transparency builds trust. It's very important for you to realize that we are not trying to pull a fast one on somebody. We're not trying to trick someone into talking to us. We're just making a frictionless path to start those conversations and get attention. Because, the question I would ask you is like, if a marketing agency, if you were a business owner and a marketing agency started reaching out to you, would you be dying to talk to them? Especially if maybe you didn't have a big budget or you're getting bombarded by all these other marketing agencies. Like you would probably have an indication like, oh, if I talk to this marketing agency, they're going to try to sell me something. Right. And so even though you don't know what it is they can do or how they can help you, like your shields just kind of go up automatically. Like, have you ever been somewhere and someone's approaching you and you just know they're going to try to sell you something or ask for money? Like, do you get comfortable and relax and be like, oh, I can't wait to talk to them? Or do you be like, how do I get the hell out of here? Right? Probably, how do I get the hell out of here? I mean, that's how I get, right? So, this whole directory strategy is meant to lower those shields, to make that friction not there so you can start the conversations. And again, as you'll see in a minute, when we go from turning these people from free into paying clients, it's not about selling. Like what we're doing here is bringing people into something. So we don't have to try to quote sell them, right? We can just have real, authentic conversations with them. We can really bring value and look at what they need help with, where the holes are in their marketing, and we can just offer to fix that. We don't have to be high pressure salespeople. We don't have to be killer closers. We don't have to always be closing. We can just actually follow what we call the ABC around here, which is always be curious. How are you doing that? What are you doing there? Is that working? Is that not working? Here's something you might want to try, right? And I'm going to show you all of that as we go through the rest of the training. So just some key things to remember when it comes to this approach. Transparency in your outreach is key, okay? Again, don't fall for all the hacks and crap you see from the gurus where they try to trick people into having a conversation with them, right? Like, don't go out there and try to act like you're a customer when you're really trying to sell somebody something. Business owners, in my experience, respond very, very negatively towards that, and you will just hurt your reputation and hurt your chances moving forward. So let's always be authentic. Let's always be upfront. What I'm going to show you today allows you to do that in a very, very real and easy way. We do that by using the directory as the entry point, right? So this was really the big thing that changed things for us, because instead of approaching people as a marketing agency, and again, with their shields going up and all of those things, now we're coming at them as this local community resource site that just, they have a free listing. We're leading with value. We're not asking them if they want to be on it. We're just telling them like, look, you already have a listing here. We just need to make sure the information is correct. We're coming from a position of giving, of reciprocity, right? A position of, hey, this thing is for you. We're not coming in there trying to sell, pitch, 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 all that stuff. There'll be plenty of time for that once we've initiated the conversation and we've got things underway. But first and foremost, our goal is to just initiate a conversation and establish some initial trust so we can have those conversations about our services in a meaningful way. This is what allows you to position yourself as a resource. Okay. Every interaction should end with a question or insight that kind of highlights your expertise and opens the door to a bigger conversation. And when I say a bigger conversation, what I really mean there is you talking about higher price services that you offer. So let me give you an example. So one of the parts of our directory strategy is we add leads into an automation. It sends them an email. The email has no links in it. There's nothing for them to click. It just basically says, hey, you have a listing on our directory site. We just want to make sure that this is your correct business information. It has all of their business information in there. And then we ask them to reply yes if it's correct or no if it's not. So once we do that, right, then we can do a follow-up like courtesy call and say, hey, I noticed you got our email, you replied yes. I just want to just double check, make sure the information is confirmed. I've got your information updated on the site. Just so you know, the reason I put this site together is because I specialize in helping small businesses get better results with their online marketing. So a quick question, how do you currently handle the inquiries that come through your website? Are you doing that personally? Have you hired somebody to do that? Like, what are you doing there? And then you just wait for an answer. And then you just say something like, look, do you know that you can have automated AI agents handle all that stuff instantly responding? Right? So no hard sales pressure techniques. We're just getting their information verified and then at the end offering to help them with something they need help with. Now, the reason this works is because it positions the directory as a value first. They're getting free exposure. It smoothly introduces your agency as the expert solution provider, and it plants the seed for premium upsells like AI agents, review management, and ongoing marketing services. Is everybody with me there on that? So Ben has a question here. He says, why would a biz want to be on your directory if Yelp, etc. exists with search data and your directory has less traffic? Ben, we don't give them a choice to be on our directory. Why would we do that? We just email them and let them know, hey, you already have a listing. What are they going to do? Tell us like, no, I don't want a free listing. Take me off. Like that never happens, Ben. So I think you're overthinking this a little, right? This is a foot in the door strategy designed to start the conversations early on when your directory doesn't have traffic. Now, as you build out your directory and you continue to do this, you will start to grow. Our directory gets traffic. It gets a lot of traffic. It gets a lot of engagement because we've had it going for years, right? You can't expect that to happen overnight when you're starting something new. You're not going to put up a directory and all of a sudden get the traffic that Yelp gets. It doesn't work that way. So you have to get in touch with reality and deal with where you're actually at. So in the beginning, you're going to be initiating these conversations by adding people to the directory and then just letting them know they have a listing. Most business owners, when you tell them they have a free listing, they're excited. They're happy. They're like, awesome. It really does help them. It's a hyper local link on a directory site in their area. Like that is good for their SEO and it's free. We're not charging them anything. We're not doing any of that stuff. So to them, they're like, oh, I got this extra thing. Like even like maybe I don't get any clients from it. Maybe I get one, but who cares? Like it's free, right? And they just really want to make sure their information is correct on there. So I hope that makes sense to you now, Ben, because yes, as a marketer, you think about what about traffic and what about all this? We have been doing this strategy for years. And you know what? The one question that we never get is how much traffic does your directory site get? We never get that from actual prospects. We only get that question from marketers. Regular people don't think that way. So here would be my recommendation. Give it a shot and just see what your results are. If it turns out I'm wrong, then you can email me and tell me I'm wrong. But give it a try first. Don't just rule it out because you think something is going to happen. We don't know. You don't really know what's going to happen until you do it, right? So let's give the process a try. All right, awesome. Okay. Um, Kathleen, we include the website URL on free listings. So, and I'll talk about that in a minute, what's kind of in the listings and what's not, and all that stuff. So, your directory does give you a unique advantage when it comes to prospecting. So, unlike cold outreach or random pitches, the directory provides you with natural built-in foot in the door offers that make conversations feel organic instead of forced. So let me ask all of you a question. Have you heard the phrase that follow-up is king, or the money's in the follow-up? Has anybody heard that before? Yeah, okay. Well, what does most follow-up sound like? It sounds like, hey, just bumping this up in your thread. Hey, just wanted to make sure you saw my last message. Yuck, right? That is disgusting follow up. Here's another edge that this directory approach gives you because now you have a lot of things you can follow up with them about, right? Because your directory has events, it's got news articles, there's blog posts, there's jobs. Like those are all things you can continue to follow up with the same leads over. So imagine you run 100 leads through your initial listing follow-up or your initial listing outreach, right? Let's say some of them claim, but a bunch of them don't. What do? Do you just ignore those leads? No. In a minute, I'm going to show you how we follow up with those leads specifically based on what they do. But also, you could just email all those same leads and say, hey, did you know that you can put events on our directory site? Do you have any events going on? Let me know there and get the conversation going that way as well. So you have lots of natural ways to initiate follow-up and have conversations with people. You don't have to do all of that boring and just unimaginative stuff that you see most people doing. Now, let's talk a minute about the foot in the door offers that you can use with the directory site. So the free listings, all right? Look, the reason why we don't get questions like how much traffic does your site get is because we're giving away the listings for free. If I were to reach out to a business owner and say, hey, I want you to be on my directory and it's $100 a month or it's $500 a year, that person might rightly ask me, well, how much traffic do you get? Because now they're paying for it, right? And I'm asking them, I'm not just putting them there. So don't do that, right? In the beginning, when you're new, don't do that. When you have the traffic and the numbers to back something like that up, then you can do that, right? But for now, let's just forget about it and we'll just go in the easiest path of least resistance, right? So almost every business owner loves free exposure. It's just a very simple way to start the relationship. Hey, you have a free listing. Is your business information correct? Let me know simply by replying yes or send me the changes and I'll update it, right? So that's part number one. Now that little yes when they reply, like to you, you may think, well, I mean, that's pretty inconsequential, right? Like that's a pretty small yes. But that little tiny yes right there is like the wedge in the start of the relationship. That little tiny yes gives you permission and allows you to start to grow this relationship and these conversations. And that little tiny yes, most people can't even get that, right? If you ask anyone who does, let me ask you a question. If you've done any cold email in the past that is not the directory method, was your inbox just overflowing with people responding back, or was it like pulling teeth to actually get someone to just open the email, let alone respond? Did you know the industry average for opens on cold email is 5% or less? Think about that. That's not responses, that's just opening the email. 5% or less. I mean, that's crazy, right? Now, with our approach, if you guys were on the Launch Lab training or you've seen any of the other stuff you've done, you know we usually get 50%, 40%, 30% open rates, and our reply rates are usually more than 5%, which is what most people are only getting in opens, let alone replies, right? So let's talk about this path that happens. So we've started that conversation. We've got somebody to just say yes, just an innocent little yes. It seems innocent. It's frictionless, right? They've said yes. Okay. Maybe they've even claimed their listing. Well, now that lead is no longer cold, right? They are a warm lead. And so we want to make them an offer because they have raised their hand and said, hey, I'm willing to talk here, right? I'm willing to be involved in this relationship. We don't want to be going around making offers to people that aren't willing to be involved in our relationship. So the first step of this whole process is just getting someone to say, yes, I'm willing, I'm open to being in this relationship. It's not saying you're going to have one. They're not committing to anything, but they're just letting you know, hey, I'm open to being in this relationship. That's what the free listing reply does. That's what them claiming their listing does. They're open to be in this relationship. So now we want to make them an offer. We would like for them to become a paying client. But if we just come in guns a-blazing with $1,000 offer and all this stuff, like it's not going to work out very well. So we want to come in with something that is very high value to them, something that has a lot of tangible things, something that just when they look at it, they go, wow, that's a super valuable offer all on its own. So this is how we get people to upgrade to our premium upgrade offers when our site doesn't have any history of traction or traffic. It's because we put tangibles in those offers that are more valuable than the actual directory listing at this time, right? Because our site doesn't have any traffic. So we know a listing on our directory has value and that it provides SEO and some things like that, but we're not getting traffic. So we know it's not like this huge, it's not going to be a source of like new business and things like that. So what we do is in those premium upgrade packages, we give them better exposure and different things like that on the directory, but we pack in tangible items like an online visibility report, which for us is $100 value. We give them a 30-second promo video. We just use a Canva template to deliver this. That 30-second video is $199 value if they were to hire us to create it. We create blog posts for them, social media posts. We'll even optimize their Google business profile for them, which for us is a $299 value. So a person looks at that premium upgrade, which we typically charge a yearly price for. And so anywhere from $99 to $250. Those are usually the two price points we run, depending on what we're wanting to do. And I'll tell you the difference between them. But imagine you're a business owner and you get this offer and it's like, hey, we'll optimize your business profile. We'll create a 30-second commercial for you. We will give you an online visibility report and show you how to get more customers online. Plus, you'll get all of this stuff, a special placement, all of these extra things in your directory listing, and it's just $99 for an entire year. Like that's a very good offer. Like a person looks at it and goes, well, crap, the video and the Google business optimization is worth, either one of those could be worth the 99 bucks. Like, and I get all that other extra stuff. Even if nothing happens with all that extra stuff, I got a great deal on these two things. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, right? That is how, when you see people in our group closing these deals, they're doing it. Now, why the difference in the prices? What's the difference between 99 and 250? So if we're looking to generate just a little bit of cash flow and get people in the buying process so that ultimately, because when they take that $99 offer, we give them what we call an activation call, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute, where we get on a call with them and we go through the deliverables, but it also gives us, it's also a sales call. We sell higher ticket stuff on that. So the reason we would run it at $99 is because basically we're getting people to pay us to be on a sales call with us. Does everybody see that? When we drop a cold list in and somebody upgrades to premium for 99 bucks And then we get on the activation call. They've paid us $100 to be on what is a sales call for us. Like that is a totally 180 degrees from what most people do. Most people are just hoping to get someone in a sales call and hoping they say yes. And like, and do people show up to those activation calls? Heck yeah, they do. They paid $99. They show up to that call and there's no hint to them that it's going to be a sales call, right? And we don't make it salesy. We provide a lot of value on that call. So look, that little process right there is a gold mine, right? Free, a little bit of the relationship, get them in the premium activation call. Okay. Now, the reason we would charge $250 versus $99. Remember, for us, our goal is always to sell them higher ticket marketing services. So a lot of the times, we don't even care about selling a premium listing. That's small time money. 99 bucks, even 250. That's pocket change. Like we want big deals. We want someone paying us $1,000 or more a month. That's our goal. That's a client we want to invest our time in. That's a person we want to be in our business. Someone paying us $1,000 or more a month. So we will set the price of the premium listings at 250 and then we'll just give them away for free. And we'll just email people and tell them that. We'll say, hey, you got added to our directory. You came recommended. We took a look at your business. We really love what you're doing. So we just decided to upgrade you to a premium listing for free. That's normally a $250 value. And these are all the things you get. We've set everything up. All we need from you is to hop on a short activation call so we can make sure everything is the way that you want it. Schedule here. Now we get them to link, go in, show them. Again, they're on a sales call, right? We go through the value stuff, and I'll talk about that in here in just a minute. So again, you have flexibility in how you price your premium listings. You can do a simple free and one yearly paid. You can do a tiered where you have free, better, and best. Like you can create as many as you want, have as few as you want. My advice to you is there's no one magic package. Your success is going to come from your consistent prospecting and you're focusing on follow-up and putting quality leads into the system, not on the specific package that you have. I see people have success with all kinds of different packages. It just depends on how you're doing, how you're executing the rest of the stuff in there, right? And so you'll see in the PDF, which again, Cameron will put in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will pop this into you as well. So Emil says, realistically, how many directories can you run? Emil, I think you're jumping the gun there. Like, why worry about how many you can run when you don't even have one up and making money? How about we get one up and making money, and then let's worry about how many we can run, right? Because you're going to have to do that no matter what. Before you can have two, you got to have one. Before you can have 10, you got to have one. And that one has to be generating, right? So let's just worry about the first one first. Then we can worry about how we scale it. Okay. All right. So you'll see in the PDF, this is our preferred approach. We add the business to the directory. We upgrade them to premium and fill out their listing. We do all this for free, right? Then we reach out. We let them know that they've got a complimentary premium listing because their business was highly recommended. Then we use the transition script to naturally pivot the conversation into other services, AI agents, review management, social posting. Now, the transition script is up here in this document. So you'll have this here. That's what I'm talking about there. Now, if you want a deeper dive into this kind of breakdown, I do have a video on our YouTube channel called Premium Listings to Premium Clients. There's a link in the document where you can access it. That way you can go there and see more in depth. I'm not going to go into any more detail here because this is really meant to be a review so that we can get to a little more, I don't know if advanced is the right word, but a little more depth into this process and what we're doing. Because the premium listing is just the start, right? You may be saying, well, look, that premium listing is great, but and I see this question in our school group a lot, like what services should I sell on the back end? And I want to take a minute to talk about this to all of you because just like with the premium packages, there is not a quote magic service that is going to make you successful. Like I wish I could tell you if you want to be successful, just sell AI chatbots, but that's not how it works, right? A lot of times what you're selling is almost irrelevant. What's important is the process you have in front of it, meaning you could have the best service in the world, but if you can't get attention, if you can't get people to listen to you, if you can't get people to book a call with you, you're never going to get to show them your amazing service because they'll never even know about it. So really the service is that you're selling is the most unimportant thing of the process. Everything that happens before is the really important part, right? Once you get that dialed in, you can pretty much sell whatever you want on the back end. But I do see a lot of people making mistakes in this area. And I want to just cover this real quick. Now, if you want proof that the service isn't really that important, because maybe some of you are right now thinking, well, Tom, I completely disagree with that. You're off your rocker. Like the service is super important. Well, I just want you to do this. Go into our Facebook group, right? It's at offlinesharks.com/group. Go in there and just search #win. You will see real people just like you from all different areas, all different walks of life, all sharing their wins of services they've sold. Just take a look over that list. There is not a rhyme or reason to it, right? Some weeks a lot of people sell websites, other weeks a lot of people sell AI chatbots. So like just look at all the different things people are having success with, right? So you'll see examples of what they're selling and what they're charging. Like they put in their wins, I sold this and this is what I charge for it. That kind of real world data and intelligence is way more valuable than generic pricing and anything you're going to hear from a so-called guru. So if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, I just don't know what to charge for my services, go to the Facebook group, search #win, and just start writing down every service that somebody shares a win on and what they're charging for it. In that process, you will see like, oh, this looks, because that worked, that person got paid, right? Don't listen to anybody unless they're actually doing it. Unless you know the person sold it and that's the amount they got for it, that's what you should be listening to. All right. So I said I want to give you some advice on choosing a service, though, even though I said there's no magic service, because I do see a lot of people make mistakes here that really slow them down and hinder their progress. So the first thing is, if you already have something that a service that you can do, even if it's one that you don't want to continue to do long term, like for instance, maybe you know how to build websites, but you don't really enjoy it and you're looking to do something different, but you already know how to do that service, just start with the thing that you already know how to do, right? That was me. I was building websites because it was easier to get website clients when I was getting things off the ground. But I hated building websites. I did not enjoy it. I did not want to do it forever. But since I already knew how to do it and I had traction with it, I stuck with it until I could get out of it or hand it off to someone else. So if you already have something, just start with that. You're not going to be stuck with that forever. You can change it down the road. Okay? Second, if you don't know how to do anything yet, like if you're just new to this whole environment and maybe you've been playing around with AI tools and you know that AI can do social media posts and AI can do this, or HighLevel can do this and HighLevel can do that, like pick something that is easy to learn, okay? If you are brand new and you're looking for a service to sell, for God's sakes, don't pick SEO, okay? Because it will take you a long time to learn SEO. You will not be making progress, making money because you're going to be too busy learning SEO. So please, when you're new, stick to something that you can learn quickly so you can start making money faster. Again, you will not be tied to this service for the rest of your life. Do something easy that we can start generating some cash flow. And while you're doing that, then in the background, learn SEO. But please, please, please do not pick the hardest thing you can tackle and be like, I'm going to learn that and then I'm going to go sell it. You will just be, you'll feel like you're spinning your wheels forever. It's a nightmare, right? We want to get to making money. Let's get to making money, generating traction, and then we can build out all that other stuff, right? So, my recommendation is that you stick with things that HighLevel can fulfill for you, or that you can use HighLevel to fulfill, because it's easy. So some of our favorite ones are pre-built websites, social media creation and posting, review management services, because they've got a thing in there with AI agents, right? Chat or voice ones. Also, HighLevel has a service that a lot of people don't take advantage of, a listing service where you can get all of their information on like Yelp, the Yellow Pay, all that stuff like in sync and make sure it's all accurate. And there's really nothing for you to do. Like it's a white labeled thing inside HighLevel. You just mark up the price and they handle it all on the back end. It's a really great deal, right? So just again, please don't pick the hardest thing you can think of that's going to take you the longest to learn if you're new. Come back to that. Learn it in the background. Is everybody with me on that? Sean says, is that part of the strategy to outsource SEO? Sean, you can, but again, if you're brand new, how much time are you going to spend on that before you start making money? Like, yes, if you look at our strategy, because they all kind of layer, right? It's hard to really describe this until you're doing it, because most people think like it's I do this and then I do that and then I do this and then I do that, but like it in the real world it doesn't really work that way. Like you kind of layer things on top of each other. So what Sean is asking about is outsourcing the SEO, and here's how we do that. Let's say that I already know how to build websites, Sean, right? So I go out, I start getting website clients. I'm selling websites, I'm doing websites, I'm doing all that stuff, right? While I'm doing that, I am also looking for someone to do SEO for me. So I go to Upwork, I post a job, I need an SEO specialist, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm doing, and I start interviewing people. Now, I'm not selling SEO at this point, right? I'm just trying to find somebody that I think I can trust that can deliver good quality work. So I'm getting my fulfillment lined up, but I'm not doing that before I'm making money. I'm out there selling websites and I'm getting money while I'm selling websites, and I'm doing this in the background. Are you with me there? That's very important. Now, once I find somebody and I'm like, this is a good person, I think they're awesome, their work is great, we've hit it off, I tell them, like, hey, listen, right now I'm selling websites, but I'm going to go back and start offering SEO to those people. And when I get a client, I'm going to hire you. And then I go to the websites and the ones I've already built, and I say, hey, I'm now offering SEO services. Would you like help getting your website found? Or once I do a new website, at the end, I say, hey, now that your website's up, have you thought about how you're going to get it to show up in Google? And now I saw SEO, but I've already got the person to do it, right? So once the client pays me, I pay the person and we're off to the races. So what I'm not doing is trying to sell SEO and then trying to find somebody to do the fulfillment. I get that all set up first in the background, and I'm not making money. I want to be doing something to make money. So if you don't know how to do websites, I would go and sell voice AI agents and in the background look for somebody to do SEO. But what I'm saying is do not stop trying to make money just to figure out SEO, because that's the thing that you think is going to like that's just not a good strategy, right? Does everybody get that? So, Keith, this is really awesome because I'm going to talk about this here in just a second. I see Keith's question, and I'm going to cover that here in a second. So, once you've kind of picked the service that you want to offer, right? Then you align your premium packages with that service. So, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to add extra things into your premium package, which is really easy to do with SmartDirectoryAI, you can add your own custom things in there. Then you want to put things in the premium package that are naturally going to lead to selling the other things. So for instance, the reason we put an online visibility report in there is because that online visibility report, when we go over it with the person, we can sell a lot of different services from that report. We can sell SEO, we can sell ads, we can sell an AI chat widget, we can sell social media posting, we can sell website redesign. So we can look at that report and use it as the ammo as to why they need something and sell that service. So that's a great thing to have in there because it gives you a lot of options on the back end. But if you're selling, like if your thing is you're going to sell social media posting, then you might want to put in your premium package offer 30 days of free social posting. So for, let's say that you're doing my $99 strategy. So for $99, they get an upgraded listing, all this extra stuff. Plus, you will post on their social media free for 30 days. Now you're getting paid to do that free 30-day trial, right? And at the end, you say, hey, would you like to keep this going? Now, if you deliver a good customer experience and they like you, you have a chance of getting that client on a monthly social media package. If you're offering review management, maybe you include 30 days of review replies as a bonus. If you're selling AI agents, target businesses with no agents on their sites and highlight that gap, right? So this is probably the best prospecting advice you're ever going to hear. And I say that humbly because I really like, the older I get, the more experience I get, the more I really see the value in this advice. And this is something I say all the time in prospecting, and that is start with the end. Everything that I have done in my business career that has been successful has been by starting at the end, not at the beginning. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's like I saw the question earlier and I was like, oh, I'm getting ready to answer that. That's because this is it. If you sell websites, the businesses that you should be adding to your directory are businesses that have crappy websites or no website at all. Because you know that you want to sell websites. So the only people you should be adding are people that need help with websites. If you want to sell AI chat widgets, then the businesses you should be adding to your directory are ones that don't have chat widgets on their website. That way, when you get to that point of talking to them, they're going to be like, you're going to say, hey, I noticed you don't have an AI chat widget. Well, no kidding, they don't. That's the whole reason you added them to your directory, right? Now, they don't know that. They don't know this was all strategically planned out. To them, they got this email, they got added to this awesome looking local directory. It's free. They're excited. And now the person says, oh, by the way, when I set up your listing, I noticed you don't have a chat widget. But I knew that all along because I knew that's what I was going to be selling them in the end. So the secret to consistent success is to build your business list around the service you plan to sell. That's why it's not a quote numbers game. That's why some people get way better results with smaller lists. You know, the reason why you can add 15 businesses to a directory and get clients versus someone who's adding 1,000 and not getting any is because the person that's only adding 15 is doing their homework. Like they know those 15 businesses, A, have a problem they can fix, and B, look like pretty good prospects for them to close. Those are 15 quality leads that they're adding in. And now they're just focusing on follow up and starting the conversation and engaging that. Whereas the person who puts 1,000 on is like, well, I send 1,000 through and nobody responds. Well, no kidding, because people hardly ever respond to the first outreach. You're going to have to follow up. Now you've got 1,000 businesses to follow up with. Like that's a lot versus this other person over here who's only doing maybe 25, 50. They can do proper follow up. They can really put effort into turning those people into clients because they're working with a smaller list versus these people that are out there like, I'm just running thousands of people through. Like, who gives a shit if you run thousands of people through your prospecting machine if you don't close any deals? Like, that's not a badge of honor, right? Like, that means you're not doing something right. Like, I look for the people that say, hey, I put 50 leads through here and I got 2 clients. That's a person I want to model because I'm like, oh, that person's got it down. Somebody says, oh, I'm running 2,000 leads through here. And I go, well, how many clients are you getting? None. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to do that, right? Not at all. So we talked about the best prospecting advice. So here's some more tips in the document too, selling agents, all that kind of stuff. So when do you move directory prospects to your agency? So let me talk about one other thing before this. So I mentioned how we connect the agency to the directory. So when I'm reaching out to people that I've added to my directory, sometimes I get the question, people will say to me like, in our community, they'll say like, well, Tom, isn't it weird that I start talking about my marketing agency when I'm on the call as the directory? No, not if you do it the right way. And the right way is what I showed you in that transition script, right? So whenever I'm talking to a client, so I've reached out to them from the directory. Now I'm talking to that client and I say, hey, I noticed you don't have an AI chat widget on your site. You know, the whole reason I built this directory site is because I have this other business where I help small businesses right here in Hawaii get AI agents involved in their business. I could really easily help you get an AI agent set up. Like, does that sound weird or awkward to you? No, it sounds natural, right? Like the whole reason I do this thing for free is to help my other business. Like that just sounds smart. That doesn't sound crazy or weird or awkward. So again, this is back to the transparency and being authentic. Stop trying to be sneaky. Just be open about everything. If somebody says, "Well, why the hell are you giving me a free listing?" I say, "Oh, the reason I'm giving you a free listing is because I built this site to help local businesses because my main business is I do SEO, I build websites, and I help people implement AI in their business." What is a guy going to say to that? Oh, like now if I try to like blah, 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 like, well, the directory is like, no, just be upfront, honest, and real. So once we have someone on our directory site, like when they upgrade to a premium listing, we still consider them a directory client. But once they move to a service like an AI chatbot or social media posting or review management, then we want to move them from our directory sub account into our agency and give them their own sub account, right? So right now I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So I'm going to take this off the screen and you guys should be looking at one of our demo sub accounts here. But I want to walk you through this process of how to move a contact from one sub account to another sub account. So in our HighLevel, we have a sub account for our directory and we have a sub account for our agency. So here's how we do that. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that the premium workflow features are enabled on the agency level. So I'm going to go back here to the agency view just so I can show you this. So, all right. So once you're on your agency view, you just click on settings down here at the bottom. You click on company, and then you scroll down and you look for the workflow premium features. So you see this right here, this workflow premium features. You just want to make sure this is toggled on. Okay. When you toggle this on at the agency level, it opens up some premium features in your workflow builder, one of which is moving a contact from one sub account to the other. So in the past, if you wanted to do what I'm about to show you, you would have to set up Zapier and use the HighLevel API. There's a lot of stuff involved. Now you can do it right in the HighLevel workflow builder, but you have to have this workflow premium features involved. So the first thing, we make sure that it's activated, right? The second thing is we want to make sure that it is turned on for the sub account that I want to use, right? So we're going to go to the sub account we want to use. So I'm actually going to use this demo directory site here. And I'm going to go down to settings. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me do this backwards. I want to go to the sub accounts here in my agency view. And I want to find the sub account. So I'm going to do demo. Let's see what this pulls up. Demo, we'll just use Tom's SDI demo account. I want to make sure that this is toggled on. I'm going to go to manage client here and premium features. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm all confused. Hold on. I think I got it figured out. I'm in the sub account where I want to go. I go to settings. I go to workflows. There's like a premium features thing here. Where the heck did I find that? Cameron, sorry, I have it in
Is
my
it
thing as
is it under
settings
automation?
workflow. Huh?
Automation?
Maybe I put the name in wrong. Well, we might have to fix that in the document. Let me go here. Hold on. Well, shoot. I mean, it's just you find the sub account and you toggle it on. Settings, workflow, premium features. So let me try this again. Let me just go by what I have here. So settings, there it is. So in the agency account, you go to settings, you go to workflow premium features. So I do have it right in the document. So then you just find the sub account that you want and just make sure it's toggled on. So sorry about that, guys. I got a little confused there, but that's how you do it. So agency view, settings, workflow premium features, find the sub account that you want and just make sure that that's toggled on. All right. Everybody with me there. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our sub account and I'm going to show you how to actually set this up. So I'm going to go into my SmartDirectoryAI sub account right now. Okay. So once we've made sure that the premium workflow features is enabled, we confirmed it's active for that sub account. Then we can just create a simple workflow to move a contact from one sub account to the other. So here's how we do that. We go, I'm just in the sub account where the contact currently exists, right? So the contact is in this sub account and I want to move them to another one. So I'm going to go to automation and I'm going to do create workflow and I'm going to create one from scratch. Okay. And then now I did another training on workflows and how to edit. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here with the workflow builder and stuff like that. So in the document that you download, there's also a link to a training I did called Winning with Workflows that'll show you like how to edit workflows, what all of this stuff means, all that stuff. But for now, I'm just going to show you how you would set this up because you can really customize and do this in hundreds of different ways. So I'm just going to show you a very basic approach, and then you'll be able to go from that and customize it however you want. So you go to the workflow builder in HighLevel, you create a new workflow, or you can add this to an existing workflow. So let's say that you have a workflow already, and when they go through that, you want them to move to a new sub account after that, you can do that as well. All we do is we add under actions here, we look for the copy contact. So if I type in contact, it'll pull up a lot of different options. And you'll see this copy contact right here. So if I put that in, it will copy the contact. So I select the account that I want to copy the contact from. Where is mine? So I would just pick, right? The account I want to copy it from right here. This is a premium action. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find my account here. We got a lot of sub accounts in here. I just want to find this one. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's the principle of the thing. Did I miss it, Cameron? Did you see it in there?
Oh, I didn't. Which one are you looking for?
Well, I want to copy the contact from this sub account. So, um,
Which one are you trying to go to?
what is this one called? Tom's demo, something like that.
Can you just
Let me
type
type
it?
in Tom and see.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to just copy it from Tom's agency. We'll just use that one, right? And then add tags to the sub account. I can add tags if I want. They'll show them there, right? And then I have the options here to select all of these things, right? So I can copy the tags, copy custom fields, update contact if already exists. That'll make sure all the information gets put over, right? So here is our workflow. So now, like, we just need to have an action to do it. So when you go into the triggers, oh, here, let me save this action. There, like I said, there are a lot of different options that you have for triggering somebody to move. So, for instance, you could trigger it by an invoice. So, if I click on invoice right here, I can say workflow trigger name invoice, the filter invoice status. I can say sent or I could say paid. So, basically, what this does is whenever someone pays an invoice from that sub account, they will then be copied into the new sub account. So whenever someone pays an invoice, like when I send an invoice from the sub account that I'm in and they pay it, they will then be copied into Tom's agency. So this is the sub account where you want the contact to go to, not the sub account they're currently in. I think I said that wrong earlier. So this is the sub account you want to move the contact to. So right now in my demo SmartDirectoryAI sub account, if I send an invoice from this sub account and someone pays it, that contact will automatically be moved into my agency account, and I can give them a tag. Like I could say paid invoice. And then I could just add that new tag. And now when they land in that other sub account, they will have this tag paid invoice so I can easily sort them out. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Now, why would we want to move them to the agency anyway? So, one of the reasons that we like to move people over to the agency is because even though we don't technically white label HighLevel, like all of our clients, like they know we're using white level or they know we're using HighLevel for their marketing. We don't hide that, but we do brand the white level, the HighLevel dashboard as the Mina marketing software app. So they know we're using HighLevel. We don't try to hide it or anything, but we do have our branding in there. And so, that's why we use a higher level, high level account. One, because of the number of clients we have, but two, because it gives us the ability to like customize the dashboard, put our agency branding in there so that they're just getting more absorbed into us and what we're doing for them as a profit center. So if you're not white labeling HighLevel, like I'm not saying white label it to resell it, although you can do that. We like to white label it just so we can have our own agency branding and everything is copacetic with that. So again, in the document, there's some advantages as to why you might want to white label, why you might want to do that, all those kinds of things. But again, I wouldn't recommend you do that until you have, a client or two so that you can justify that extra expense with the cash flow coming in. All right. Okay. Whew. All right. I got through that. So in the document, there is a step-by-step of exactly how to do all of this that I just talked about. But again, so you're in the sub account, like your directory sub account, you create a workflow, add whatever trigger you want, and then copy contact into the new sub account. So that's how that process works. All right, that's it. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes answering questions here. Let me come another. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat and I will do my best to answer that. Hold on, let me type this in here. I just want to make sure I delete this workflow so I don't have any issues. All right, so first let me get this over here. So Cameron, you've dropped the link in there, right?
Yeah, I'll put it in there
Oh, there.
again.
Okay, awesome. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find the link to the PDF in the video description below. Or if you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment, me or somebody from the team will get you a link to download it. So Brian says, so I have both the Smart Directory AI and the AI agency in one sub account. Do I need to separate? Brian, no, you don't. If you've put them both in one sub account, then you don't need to move them at all. Yep, Cameron Tim is dropping that in there. There's the link right there. Let me go up here and says, Lee Waters here. I've been using your directory system for about 4 years. I use a different way of selling this and getting into local businesses. We do a very local strip mall business approach along with service businesses to get clients and grow the directory. Would like to share it with you. Oh, Lee, yeah, shoot me an email, tom@offlinesharks.com. Let me know. I'd love to hear about what you have going on. Yes, then you can create a new sub account under your agency for that contact. That is correct. So Mark says, how does the workflow from Smart Directory AI sub know what new sub account you want to move the business to? Do you set up the new sub account name first and then initiate the workflow? No. So Mark, let me show you that again because I know I did that in a little bit of a confusing way. So look, I'm going to share my screen here again, and I'm going to show you inside HighLevel, and I'm just going to walk through this real quick. So here I am in the automations, right? So I'm in the sub account where the contact currently lives. So I also have an agency sub account that is in this same HighLevel ecosystem. Everybody with me there? Is that clear? So this is my directory sub account. I have a separate sub account for my agency. So in the directory sub account, I create a workflow. And the first thing I do is set up a trigger. So I'm just gonna add an invoice. So let's say that I'm talking to them about doing a chat widget. They say, yes, I want a chat widget. So I'm just gonna say when they pay this invoice, I want to move them to my agency sub account. So I save this trigger. So now, and you can have multiple triggers. This could be when they fill out a form, or if they do a discovery form, then you could move them to your agency account as well. There's lots of different triggers that you can use here. In this case, when they pay their invoice, they're going to get moved to the agency sub account. So now all I'm going to do is click this little plus, and I'm going to go to copy contact. That's what I want. So you can see it's under contact here. There's copy contact. And this is where I select the sub account I want to move them to. So I want to move them to my agency. So I'm going to select Tom's agency. And then I have the option to turn these things on or leave them off. This will basically, if this contact already has tags, it will copy the tags. If they have custom fields, it will copy the custom fields. And if this contact already exists at Tom's agency, it will just update that existing contact. It will not create a brand new contact. So I'm going to turn those things on, and then I just click save this action. So now whenever I send an invoice from my directory sub account and someone pays it, they will automatically be moved over here. And then the other thing I showed you is if I want to add a tag so I can easily find them, I can do that. So I created that tag paid invoice. So I'm going to add that there. So not only will it move them, but we'll also apply this tag paid invoice so I can easily find them in the other sub account. So everybody with me there, right? Okay. I'm going to delete this so I don't have an extra workflow in here. All right, let me go back. Cameron, do you see any other questions there that maybe I might have missed there?
Melinda asked, what does draft or publish toggle switch do in the upper right? Do we just need to save or do we need to publish?
You need to publish. So whenever a workflow is in draft, it does not fire. So that's so that you can work on your workflows and you don't have to worry about any actions happening. But once you have your workflow set up, You always want to publish them. That means they're live. That means if someone pays an invoice, they'll go through that workflow.
Thomas Scotton, that's Dr. Scotton. He asked, how do you give a client access to their sub account without having access to all of your GHL system?
That's a great question. So very, very easy to do, Thomas. So here, let me share my screen again. I'm going to show you this. So here I am in this sub account. And let's say that I wanted to, let's say that this was the client's sub account and I want to give them access, right? All I do is go down here to settings and I go to my staff. And this allows me to add a user. So I would click add user and then I put in their name. So this would be the client's information, right? You'd put in their email, right? And then you could fill all this out. And then there's advanced settings. If you want, you can do password right there. But if you go down here, I mean, on the left, you'll see this next one is roles and permissions. So you go over to roles and permissions, and now there's a list. First, you have the option to make them either an admin or a user. So if you don't want them to see, first of all, they can't access anything in your agency level account. They can only access things in the sub account. So there is no way when you give someone access to a sub account for them to get into your agency level account. But you might not want them to have access to everything in this sub account. So you can either make them an admin or a user, and then you can restrict data visible to only assigned data. So there's a little thing here that tells you what this means, but basically, like, if I didn't want this person to see gross sales, I could hide that from them and they would only see whatever number I want them to see, right? So I can restrict the data. And then I can go through each of these sections and decide what I want them to have access to and what they don't. So if you're selling AI voice agents and you don't want your clients to be able to go in and change the AI agent and mess things up, then you would want to come into this AI agent section and you would want to check these things so that uncheck these things so that the person doesn't even have access to this part. That way they can't go in and mess things up for you. So a lot of times we turn things off so the client doesn't get in there and screw something up. Does that make sense to everybody? It's not because we don't want them to have access to it. It's just if they don't know how to use it or what to do, or it's something we're doing, we don't want them in there messing with the stuff we're doing. So we turn those things off. So you have complete control. There's a big long list here. You can go down and decide what you want them to have access to or not. Let's see.
Couple questions about email warm up from Jan and Ruben. Where do I get the info to warm up my emails? And then also, do I need to warm up both Smart Directory and my agency email?
So, Ruben, I'm going to try to say this. So I get this question a lot, right? Like, I do not know a trick or a hack that is going to get your emails to land in the inbox. You actually have to send good emails, and people need to open them and they need to reply to them. Like, that is the only 100% surefire way to get your emails delivered, is to send emails that get opened and clicked. Now, inside the Smart Directory AI system, we have a process built in to do just that. Okay. So yes, having your DMARC and all that other stuff set up and a sending domain, that's good too. But the big key is to send emails that people want to get, they want to open, and they want to reply to. Like, that's how you really do it, right? There's no shortcut or hack. And what does it matter if all your emails hit the inbox if nobody replies or buys anything from you? Like, why would you want that, right? So really, you have two goals there. You want people to reply to you because that's how you're going to get clients. And that is also going to help you with your deliverability. So it's a twofer. You're getting two things at once. Who cares if all your messages into the inbox if nobody replies? Like, that's pointless, right? So Here's how we do that inside of Smart Directory AI. If you go into the automations and you go to the prospecting outreach workflow. So first things first, get the basics set up. Create a dedicated sending domain, right? Create a dedicated sending domain. Don't go ham, as my daughter would say. Don't start trying to send thousands of emails a day. Start really small, send 10, 15 emails a day for like a week, bump it up to 25, then bump it up to 50, like slowly grow how many emails you're sending. If you can, you should have email accounts that you have access to, or you should send them to your friends and ask your friends to reply. That way you can generate some of that activity, okay? But also in the Smart Directory AI workflows, we put in a special warm-up email into the free listing outreach. So for us, everything starts by dropping our leads into the free listing outreach, okay? And as you can see in this workflow, the very first email is called email warm-up. Now, what makes this email special? Well, first of all, there are no links in this email. Zero links. Do not, under any circumstances, put a link in this email. Zero links. Number two, it's highly personalized with local information and the business that you're emailing's information. All of this stuff right here is custom data that HighLevel pulls in about their business. So when they get this email, the subject line that they see is this info for Paul's Plumbing correct? Question mark. You'll notice that subject line, nothing marketing, nothing salesy, sounds very innocent, right? Everybody wants to make sure their info is correct. When they get into this email, I'm emailing you because I'm in the process of building a community resource site. No pitch, no selling, just like, hey, you have a listing. Can you let me know that this information is correct? And the only way for them to answer this email is by replying yes. Okay? No links. Do not put any links in this email. So if you guys were on the live training I did, the AI Launch Lab not long ago, I actually I didn't even have a dedicated sending domain set up. Or maybe this was a different training. On one of my live trainings, I had no dedicated sending domain set up. I sent this email to 31 contacts, and it was like 98% delivery rate. Like it's crazy, right? Because there's no links. There's nothing about this looks spammy or fishy, right? So always use this email. Now, the other emails in the sequence, they have links and they can go and claim and all that stuff, but we want to do this first one. The other part of this is, and in your Smart Directory AI members area, I have a video where I go through this, but the other part of this is when you add the leads to this workflow manually. So the way that we fire that workflow is by selecting the contacts that we want to add to it, right? And then manually adding them to the workflow. So when I do that, when I go to manually add a contact to this workflow, so I'm going to add them to the free listing. Oh, I don't think I have that workflow published. Hold on. This is a demo account, so sorry. Let me go back and show you. There's a way where you can set everything up to be in drip mode. So I'm going to go back here. I might have unpublished this for some reason. Yeah, it's in draft mode. So here, let me just publish it. So now when I go back to my contacts, right? And if I want to send these contacts through this workflow, I go to add to automation. I select the workflow. There it is, free listing outreach. And then I have the option to send all at once, schedule, or in drip mode. So I always do it in drip mode, and then I break it up over a day. So I can set this to send 15 emails, and then I can set it to do that every 1 day, right? So it will only send 15. It will do it. I can have it do it every few hours. I can have it do it every day. Like you control all that right here. So there's a video in the members area that shows all that. John says, did your dedicated sending domain look like minamarketing.net? John, in the training, I show you exactly how to set this up. So we use a sub. First of all, it wouldn't be Mina Marketing because Mina Marketing is not the directory. Mina Marketing is the agency. So when we're sending emails from our directory, we want the URL to be the directory URL. So if you are currently sending emails for your directory from your agency, don't do that. You want to send them from the directory. So I'll use vegasthrive.com. That's a directory I just set up a couple weeks on a training. So my directory domain is vegasthrive.com. The dedicated sending domain I would set up would be msg.vegasthrive.com. So it's just a subdomain. So I would either put like MSG or sender or email dot and then my directory so that the URL matches the directory that I'm sending the emails from. So use a subdomain.
There's a couple here in the Q&A, Tom. Lance asked, does the new client have their own sub account so you can add services?
When you move them to your agency, yes. So whenever we take on a new client at the agency, we give them a sub account and we do all their marketing from that sub account. When they're in our, like if they just have a listing on our directory or they've just upgraded to premium, we don't have a specific sub account for them. They're just a contact. We don't make a sub account for them until they become a paying client at the agency. Charles says, is there a nuts and bolts template or video describing how to provide what is offered to the prospect within their premium? Yes, Charles, inside your Smart Directory AI members area, there's a bonus training called Premium Listings to Premium Clients. And in that training, I cover all of the services I talked about on this call and exactly how to fulfill them. So it is in your members area. Yemi says, Tom, could you quickly show how to optimize Google Business with? No, Yemi, that's not a quick thing. Oh my goodness. Yes, I wish I could do that quickly. Right now, you cannot optimize a Google Business profile inside of HighLevel. That's a beta feature that's going to be coming out soon. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to do Google Business optimization inside of HighLevel with AI, but that feature hasn't been released yet. So right now, if you want to optimize Google Business, you just have to do it. Oh, Jen says, sorry, that wasn't my question. Deals and discounts are not in there yet, Robert, but we're working on it.
Ramon had said, is it best to lead with the Smart Directory free listing first, once they upgrade, then offer the AI agent, or should we add the AI agent within the premium plan as well?
It depends on your pricing and what you're trying to do. Okay. So if you want to, like, you could include the AI agent if you have a plan that justifies doing that. And what do I mean by that? Like, you want to be making money. So let's say that you want to do a monthly plan and you say, look, when you sign up, you get all these advanced listing and directory features. Plus, I will set up an AI agent on your website and I will optimize it and I will maintain it month after month. And you get all of that for $99 a month. Like that could be worthwhile. If I'm not doing that, if I want to sell the AI agent for like $3.99 or $6.99 or some higher price, which I would recommend you do, I wouldn't want to sell it that cheap. Then I would just do something else in the premium listing and sell it on the back end.
Kia Moshe said, I do have my Smart Directory AI and agency together. Is there a way to make sure that my SDAI is sending out my emails instead of my agency?
You have to configure all that in the workflows. So yes, but this is the reason why we recommend that you keep them in separate sub accounts because it's just easier to keep everything separated. You can do it in your agency sub account. You just have to make sure that everything is set up the right way and all the from emails are coming from the right place and all that stuff. So just make sure you go through all the workflows, look at all the emails, make sure everything is sending from the right place. Awesome. Any other questions you see there, Cameron?
I think that's it.
Mark says, could we get the new copy for the free listing opt-in that says yes to receiving an agent call? Once we roll those workflows live, Mark, those things will be in there. So we don't have those yet. So for those of you that maybe don't know what Mark's talking about, we have actually already built out a series of workflows for Smart Directory AI that use inbound voice AI and outbound voice and chat AI for both. We're just waiting for HighLevel to roll out the outbound voice AI live for everyone. So once that happens, we'll be getting that going inside of HighLevel, and you'll have access to all of that stuff. Dwight says, I'm not understanding how you can offer AI in a $97 plan. Wouldn't the cost of the AI be? Dwight, I said don't do that. I said I would not do that because I want to charge more for that. So I think you just misheard what I said there. I would not do that. That would not be my recommendation, but I was just giving them an example. Kimberly says A2P did not get approved. So Kimberly, did you go to HighLevel and look at their A2P resources? So A2P is a government thing. It's not a HighLevel thing. It's not an us thing. So you have to follow the guidelines. So I'm not sure what it is, but they have a lot of resources at HighLevel to help you get that approved. I don't understand, what is the minimum equipment required? I don't know what you mean by that, Kenneth. Catherine says, is the native Google. So HighLevel is going to have a Google Business Optimization tool in their system. It's not live yet. It's just in beta. We have early beta access to it, but it's not live for everybody. So once it's live for everybody, yes, you'll have access to that in HighLevel. But that's not something from Smart Directory AI. That's something from HighLevel. Yeah, I'm not sure there. One of the things that you might want to check is I saw somebody today had promotion selected, and that's not allowed. You have to select, I forget what the option is, appointment, something like that. Maybe submit a ticket to us and we can take a look. Maybe Norm can help as well. Is the outbound bot going to be a separate cost, or will it fall? Steve, it will not be a separate cost from Smart Directory AI. You'll be able to. We built it all out, but you're just going to be able to use it. We're not charging extra for it. D7. If you just go to, isn't it d7.com, Cameron?
I put it in there,
Oh, you got okay.
d7leadfinder.com.
Do you mind sending Roger the Smart Directory purchase link?
Yep, that's in there too.
Awesome. Computer memory storage to avoid system freezing. Oh, Kenneth, gosh, that's a great question. I don't know. I always say get as much as your budget can afford, right? Like if you like determine your budget and then get the best equipment you can for your budget. And then so this is what I did early on. I did not have a big budget, so I got the best I could get. And then as I got cash flow, I just slowly upgraded and just kept upgrading as things grew. Awesome. All right. Look, this was a fantastic walkthrough Wednesday. I appreciate all the great questions. I'm going to wrap this one up. I will be on the live coaching call this Friday. So if you have additional questions or you have other things you want to know about, that's a great opportunity to show up and get your questions answered by me live. That happens every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be there. If you need anything else, offlinesharks.com/support. Thanks for watching. Again, in the description of the video, there's a link to the PDF. Or if you want to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that, I would really appreciate it. And I'll also drop the link to the PDF for you there that way as well. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe. Practice aloha. And I'll see you Friday.